Okay, so an explanation of what's going on here. I'm going to turn off the ignore hit stop feature. This is the frame of startup of Parry. This is the frame it catches it, right? This is 6 frames of hit stop that Jam is put into, and then there's the 4 frames of Zeke. This is the frame that JH gets caught. This is the 8 frames of hit stop that Chip is put into. The does look ridiculous. This is 7 and 9 frames. 8's a frame off for both, but doesn't really matter. And then that means that for these 2 frames of startup for Zeke, there is the startup is, as you'd expect, covered by the hit stop, and then Chip is actionable again here. So he's going to keep falling on this frame, which means he either lands on this frame, which is the frame before startup, or he lands on this frame, which is the frame of startup, and he lands and blocks. And I got this to test this on both frames, and it got to work each time. So in theory, that makes this a 2-frame link. However, the way that Jam Parry works is that it has a set startup of 8 frames. There's an idle frame here, and then there's the Zeke, which means there's always this idle frame of Hoishifu whenever it doesn't catch anything. But these are all the frames that you could be parrying. It says Inborn Super Armor, but this is basically the parry catch frames. If you hit Jam perfectly meaty on her wake up with JH, that makes this a 2-frame link. If you hit her on the 2nd frame, you're given an extra frame to land, because you've effectively added an extra frame of startup to her parry. Which means that you can actually time your JH a little later on wake up, and therefore it's less likely to get caught by the parry. I've had situations where I've tested this, and 5p has caught me on wake up. Like, I've set Jam to mash 5p, and they trade with each other, the JH and the 5p. But Parry gets safe jumped, despite the fact that there is clearly 3 frames of startup before JH is hitting, and then there'll be additional frames after that before I land. So from the looks of this, if you're timing your JH to not be frame perfect meaty, you actually get more frames to catch Jam Parry, which is very interesting.